From Vineland to Hammonton and everywhere in between, this week's Jersey Oddcast covers it all. We've got the latest on a tragic homicide investigation in Vineland, the launch of a new commuter bus linking Vineland and Atlantic City, and updates on local high school football coaching changes. We'll talk fall festivals, Egg Harbor City's First Responders Day, early voting, and the Batsto Country Living Fair. Plus, a check in on Columbus Day events, the Hour for Peace and Illuminated Rosary, and all your Halloween happenings, and we mean all of them. And later, we'll take a look at Taylor Swift's new album, The Return of Back to the Future to theaters, and this week's Oddcast, Oddfact, and Oddpoll. This is the Jersey Oddcast, local news with a twist, with Joseph F. Berenato, Gabriel J. Donio, and me, Gina Rullo. Let's get into it. Gabe, what happened in Vineland?
We have a teen who's been charged in the death of a violent woman, Gina. Violent police are investigating a tragic homicide that occurred early Friday morning on October 3rd. At approximately 4 a.m., officers responded to a home on Union Road after receiving a report of a possible homicide. When they arrived, police discovered 38-year-old Christina Aselta, who had suffered multiple stab wounds. Despite immediate efforts to save her life, Ms. Aselta was pronounced dead at the scene. A joint investigation between the Vineland Police Department and the Cumberland County Prosecutor's Office quickly led to the identification and arrest of a 17-year-old juvenile suspect who was known to the victim. The suspect was taken into custody at the scene without incident and has been charged with murder, purposeful murder, knowing, unlawful possession of a weapon, and possession of a weapon for an unlawful purpose. The suspect is currently detained and the investigation remains active. Authorities say this appears to be an isolated incident and that there is no ongoing threat to the community. Because the suspect is a juvenile and the investigation is ongoing, no additional details are being released at this time. Anyone with information related to the case is urged to contact the Vineland Police Department or the Cumberland County Prosecutor's Office. It's just a very tragic series of events that took place in Vineland on October 3rd.
Truly, and we thank the Cumberland County Prosecutor's Office for sharing that information and making it available. But this is just horrible. It's a loss of two lives.
Yeah. Yeah. I have absolutely no words. I don't know that I can add anything other than it's unspeakable. It's awful.
No, and I'm glad that they were clear in saying that there's no other ongoing threats and that they believe it to be an isolated incident. And I think the Vineland Police Department and the Cumberland County Prosecutor's Office are handling this in the best way possible.
Agreed.
Yes.
If you're looking to move your business or find a new home in South Jersey, there's only one realtor to call.
Gina, you should call Phil Carr at Crowley and Carr Real Estate. If you're looking to buy or sell your home or commercial property in South Jersey, Phil Carr is the person to call. And Crowley and Carr is the best place in town to find the best place in town. Call them at 609-561-0505 or go to Facebook or Instagram.
Thank you. So Vineland and New Jersey Transit and the South Jersey Transportation Authority launched a new initiative last week. I think you have all the details, Gabe?
Yes, it's a New Jersey Transit commuter bus that's going to run from Vineland to Atlantic City. And the details are pretty interesting. It's New Jersey Transit and the South Jersey Transportation Authority have teamed up to launch a new express shuttle bus connecting Vineland to Atlantic City. The pilot program officially started October 1st, and it's designed to help casino workers and other commuters get to their jobs faster and easier without the long, complicated routes. So, according to NJDOT Commissioner and New Jersey Transit Board Chair Fran O'Connor, this route directly connects workers to employment opportunities in Atlantic City and fills a major transportation gap for South Jersey residents. New Jersey Transit President and CEO Chris Calori said the express shuttle removes a key barrier for residents seeking work in Atlantic City by making the commute more direct and efficient, part of Governor Murphy's larger plan to improve transit across South Jersey. Senator Michael Testa called the new route the start of a real investment and opportunity, quote unquote, for the region. It isn't just a convenience, it's a lifeline for people who depend on it to get to work, care for their families, and build better futures, the release from New Jersey Transit said. The pilot features two express round trips each weekday. Buses will leave Vineland at 5:35 a.m. and 1:30 p.m., head straight to the Atlantic City bus terminal, then return after a 45-minute layover to sync with employee shift changes. Return trips leave Atlantic City at 7:45 a.m. and 3:45 p.m., arriving back in Vineland around 8:50 a.m. and 4:50 p.m. The one-way fare is $6, and existing 8-zone New Jersey Transit monthly passes will be accepted. Funding comes through New Jersey Transit's community mobility programs, the Job Access and Reverse Commute Initiative, and other grants. It's a small pilot, but a big step toward giving South Jersey residents more ways to connect to opportunity and maybe, just maybe, less time sitting in Route 40 traffic, according to the release. For full schedules and fare details, visit newjerseytransit.com/Vineland's Shuttle. Vineland Shuttle. That's VINELANDSHUTTLE. I think this is a great initiative, guys. It's a start of seeing a little more in the way of public transportation in southern New Jersey.
Oh, without a doubt. Considering how many rural areas, pardon me, that we have, especially Vineland and the surrounding environs, where mass transit, public transportation is a little hard to come by, I think that this is fantastic. Um, I am a huge proponent of more mass transit, so this is great.
For me, I like the idea of it. I just wish they had come up with this when casinos were more at their height than it
Right.
is right now. You know what I mean? And I just wonder if it's too little, too late in a way. I don't know how, I don't want to be negative about it, but I just worry that is this enough and is this at the right time for it? And will New Jersey Transit sustain it? We'll see what's happening with SEPTA in Philadelphia. These things are expensive to run. We'll see what happens. I'm
It's going
hopeful
to
for it, but I'm cautious.
it's going to come down to how many people use it and how
Yeah.
consistently they use it. And I think it's up to the public out there. We're putting this out there so that people know it's there, know the times that it's going to be. Now it's in the public's court. The people who need this, the commuters who need this, if they want it to be there, they should use it. So I agree with Gina. It's going to be a function of, can they get the ridership they need to sustain it?
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. Just like with any service offered anywhere, okay, here it is. If you don't avail yourselves of it, we're not going to continue it because why would we?
Yeah.
But if this does indeed show that there is a need for it, then I don't see why it wouldn't continue unless we have some sort of massive budget cut at some point somewhere.
Yep.
You never know.
Yeah,
I think we're going to stick with Vineland. This is not such good news. Or unless depends how you look at it. Joe?
actually, I would consider this relatively good news,
Okay.
or at least a good ending. According to a release from the Cumberland County Prosecutor's Office, on October 3rd, a Cumberland County jury in a trial presided over by the Honorable Nikki Arbitier returned verdicts of guilty against defendant Isaias Garza, 57, of Vineland, of the following offenses: sexual assault in the second degree and witness tampering/bribery in the second degree. According to the release, the state presented evidence that the defendant sexually assaulted a minor who was a sixth-grade student at the Excel school located in Bridgeton, New Jersey, when the assaults occurred on multiple occasions beginning between 2004 and 2005. The defendant was a teacher at the same school during the time when the assaults occurred. The state also presented evidence that the defendant tampered with the victim by offering him money and other benefits to lie to investigators about the abuse after an investigation into the allegations were opened in 2018. Additional charges involving the victim and a second victim were dismissed prior to the return of the above-referenced verdict. The release said that sentencing is scheduled for January 30th of 2026. The state's application for post-verdict detention was denied. The defendant faces a term of 5 to 10 years of incarceration subject to the No Early Release Act, which mandates an 85% period of parole ineligibility for the sexual assault conviction, and a mandatory consecutive 5 to 10 years of incarceration for the witness tampering/bribery conviction. The matter was investigated by the Cumberland County Prosecutor's Office, Bridgeton Police Department, and the New Jersey State Police. Prosecutor's Office Detective Matthew Lutz was the lead investigator, and the prosecution was represented at trial by Cumberland County Assistant Prosecutors Leslie Snock and Breanne Malone. The defendant was represented by Kevin McCann, Esquire. So I'm going to call the conviction good news.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like we've been a little heavy on Vineland this week, but there's just a lot coming out of that city.
Yeah.
The key here is that these people are alleged to have done what they did in this case. Beyond that, and it's at least they're being investigated, and these things are happening in a way that's going to help the city. I know it's difficult to report on these types of things, but they do happen, and it's a tragic all the way around.
Agreed.
While reading some of these releases from the Cumberland County Prosecutor's Office, I have to wear my glasses from Hammonton Family Eye Care, and if you need glasses or contact lenses, we recommend Hammonton Family Eye Care.
Gina, I am wearing a pair of glasses that I bought at Hammonton Family Eye Care recently, and they're a little different, and I like them a lot. They have so many different frames there. The walls are filled with them. You can take your pick, and you'll find something that you'll like. So, see Hammonton Family Eye Care for routine and medical eye care for all ages, from glasses to contacts to eye exams and more. Visit Hammonton Family Eye Care at Peachtree Plaza, 80 South Whitehorse Pike in Hammonton. Call 609-567-7479 or go to hammontonfamilyeyecare.com.
Thanks, Gabe. Okay, Gabe, we better settle in because Joe has all the Halloween happenings.
Wow.
And it is plentiful. And it's not all, but it's as many as we could find before we recorded this episode.
All right, Joe. Well, you have the floor.
Yeah, and oddballs out there, if you want to take a moment, pause, go get some hot apple cider, maybe a donut, then come back and settle in, because we're going to be here for a minute.
Gabe had hot apple cider this morning on our front porch.
I did.
See? There you go.
I did.
It
it's that
caramel,
time of year.
Yeah, I mean, pumpkin spice, we've said before, hot apple cider, that's the taste and smell of fall. So, bear that in mind as we go through. We'll start in Hammonton. On October 17th, Hammonton High School's Student Council will host a trick-or-treat from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Grades 5 and younger in the community are invited to trick-or-treat in the high school hallways. Also that night, Main Street Hammonton presents Haunted Hammonton Prohibition-era ghost stories from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Experience immersive storytelling, live performances, and interactive scenes at 4 haunted tour stops, and enjoy free hot cocoa, cookies, and popcorn along the way. Then, on October 24th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., a trunk or treat will be held in the parking lot at 236 Bellevue Avenue, which is the old bank. It promises to be a family fun night of music, an Atlantic Care pumpkin judging contest, food, an MC, Mr. Sam, costumes, and more. The 19th annual Downtown Hammonton Trick or Treat will be held on Saturday, October 25th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Join thousands of families from Hammonton and beyond for one of the community's most beloved traditions, an afternoon full of costumes, candy, and fall fun. Businesses and organizations will hand out candy and host games, crafts, and activities. Explore a Hammonton Fire Department truck on Central Avenue, enjoy music and interactive entertainment with community groups, and enter the popular costume contest for kids, adults, and pets. Then, the 49th annual Kiwanis Club Halloween Parade will be Wednesday, October 29th at 7 p.m. The parade will start at Orchard Street and Egg Harbor Road and proceed on Bellevue Avenue to the Atlantic County Human Services Building at 310 Bellevue Avenue. Anyone interested in entering a float or a group, please contact Chairman Bob Schenk at 609-517-4614. Cash prizes. Individual participants will be registered and assembled at Orchard Street and Egg Harbor Road at 6 p.m. the evening of the parade. No need to pre-register if you are an individual, just sign up. Closing out the month is, of course, Hammonton's Trick or Treat, which will take place on Halloween, which is Friday, October 31st, from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Drivers are urged to exercise caution in neighborhoods where children may be out collecting treats. Please reduce your speed and remain vigilant to ensure a safe and enjoyable experience for everyone involved. Now in Egg Harbor City, their Halloween parade, hosted by the Mays Landing Egg Harbor City Rotary Club, is scheduled for Friday, October 24th at 6:30 p.m. The parade will proceed along Philadelphia Avenue and involves various participants, including floats, bands, and costumed individuals, with judging beginning earlier in the evening. Floats and vehicles will line up on Claudia Street at 5:30, and all other participants will line up on London Avenue starting at Claudia Street, also at 5:30. Costume judging will begin at 5:45 p.m. at Kern Field, 501 London Avenue. For more information, call or text Kim at 609-705-2009. On Saturday, October 25th, the EHC Crusaders Youth Athletic Association will be holding their 4th annual Trunk or Treat from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Key Rec Fields, Durer Street in Egg Harbor City. It's fun and free whether you're participating as a decorated trunk or a costume trunk or treater. And the Mean Green Booster Club is challenging all levels of cheer and football to a little friendly competition and set up a table with bragging rights to the best decorated trunk/table. Finally, trick-or-treating will take place on Halloween night, Friday, October 31st, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. In Buena Vista Township, the Buena Vista Township Special Events Committee is hosting their 2nd annual Trunk or Treat at Michael Debbie Park in Richland on Saturday, October 11th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Trick or treat through the fields and visit decorated cars and trucks, enjoy a hayride with your neighbors, and brave their haunted pathway through the woods if you dare. Complimentary hot dog, beverage, and chips will be provided while supplies last. Buena Vista Township's Trick or Treat will be on Halloween from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. In Buena Borough, however, Trick or Treat will be the Saturday before Halloween, October 25th, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Now in Vineland, trick-or-treaters can begin collecting their treats on Wednesday, October 22nd at the Vineland Police Department's annual Trunk or Treat, hosted in collaboration with Vineland Public Schools from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Vineland High School. There will be hayrides, music, food trucks, vehicle displays, and more. Then, on October 25th, Main Street Vineland will host its annual Pumpkin Patch Party from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Landis Avenue Mini Parks. Children 14 and under can enjoy pumpkin painting, games, seasonal treats, and more. And Vineland will hold its trick-or-treat on Halloween, October 31st, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Over in Waterford Township on October 24th, you can trick-or-treat with the Atco Wolves at 6 p.m. at Waterford Field. Entry is free, and there will be music, contests, treats, and more. Then, on Saturday, October 25th, the police department will hold a Halloween trail trunk or treat at the Municipal Building in Atco from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Get ready for a night of thrills, chills, and Halloween fun. Bring the family and enjoy an evening filled with activities, treats, and spooky surprises. Be sure to check Waterford's website and Facebook page for details on their trick-or-treat. And in Winslow Township, trick-or-treating information has not yet been released, but if they follow the schedule that they have in the past, it will be held on Halloween from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's all I have at the moment.
I think
Joe,
Joe deserves a treat just for that. Get that guy a Kit Kat bar.
But, it's spooky season.
Yeah, great
Thank
job,
you.
Joe.
Thank you.
And go ahead, Gina.
that was like almost 6 minutes worth of information.
Good Lord, was it?
Yeah.
And we
Great.
started recording, and then I was like, okay, let me look at the clock. I'm like, okay. And it was like 20 seconds off. So it was like 4 minutes and 40 seconds. It was a lot of information.
I have several takeaways from this, Joe, and that is A, great job by you to assimilate all that data. But B, what a great time to be a kid and a parent. There's no shortage of events. When we had, I think we had the Halloween parade, obviously, and trick or treat. Those were the two things. And I'm
Halloween events in your classroom.
Oh,
yeah,
we did.
But
didn't you wear your costumes to school?
Yeah, we
had the little parade.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. But that was like, I would not say that was like a big deal like it is today. It was, you wore your costume to school. I don't know that we did a lot of different things in elementary school. We just, you wore your costume that day. But I will
Yeah,
say,
we probably made spooky stuff in art class, like with Mrs. Burns, with like tissue paper and little bats and things. But like,
yeah,
nothing like Gabe saying, nothing like all of this. This
yeah,
is
this is, and I would say the last thing is, I can't believe it's been 19 years of that
Since the down.
downtown trick or treat. That is amazing to me, how time has gone by. And I do remember the last thing is, I remember going to, when I was a young kid in the 70s and early 80s, you went out at night. Then some teenagers made it difficult for everybody. So it was switched to the Saturday before Thanksgiving during the day.
Saturday before Halloween. Halloween,
yeah.
And Saturday before,
not
oh,
Thanksgiving.
I'm sorry, I said Thanksgiving. Halloween certainly would have been moved to the Saturday before Thanksgiving. And then Andrew G. Berenato Jr. on council made it a personal like mission to move Halloween back to Halloween, and it has been there now for 20 some years, and
Yeah.
that's a wonderful thing. I think
And
it's
I think the downtown trick or treat, because I was on Main Street when it started, and I want to say that was Gina Proctor who had a business downtown who brought that idea and started it. So
that's great. Good on her.
I think the prevalence in the area of the trunk or treats is interesting to me too, because when I first heard about them, I'm like, this is diabolical. We have been raised never, ever to take candy from strangers out of their vehicle. And the whole purpose of trunk or treat is, hey, kid, come to my vehicle. I've got
Wow.
candy. Like, it scares me. But
Well, if there
I
were
mean,
only,
it's being hosted by police departments.
yeah, I was
So,
gonna say.
okay,
And
that
also
works for me.
it's if it was one van in the middle of a parking lot, no.
Yeah.
But if it's a bunch of people with their lift gates up,
have
it's
you ever been to one? They're really well decorated. They
Oh,
sell
yeah.
kits now to decorate your trunks or your hatches, whatever you want to call it.
I have, and so I feel better about them. It's just, hey, kid, go over and get in my trunk and get some candy.
yeah,
Slam. Like, I've seen that movie.
Okay,
But
but do you guys remember when we had the paper in the early days? Lorraine Donovan would send out a press release from Kessler Hospital saying, "Come get your candy X-ray."
oh,
yeah,
yes.
yeah,
And it was long
yeah,
before that. Yeah, get your candy extra. Oh, yeah, please irradiate my Snickers.
yeah. I would think that the irradiation might be worse than the pin that some lunatic put in your candy. But that came out of people were doing that. The
I know.
sickos out there were
I
putting
don't know if
pins in
there
candy.
might have been like one lady who did it in Ohio, but the whole thing spread like wildfire.
Wow.
Just like the people who were replacing like water-based tattoos with LSD, that never happened anywhere.
Yeah.
It was amazing how these urban legends spread across the country pre-internet.
Yeah. It was also just a way for, I think, the hospital to feel community minded. They they figured, well, we have an X-ray machine. Let's let people know we have it, and also look community minded. But it is funny how these things get started and then they spread like wildfire. It's pretty crazy.
Okay, I have a question. Is
Yeah,
it too much Halloween? Is it too much candy? What if your kid says to you, "Mom, I don't want to be a witch for the fourth event. I want to be a princess now, or I want to be a giraffe." Like, you're asking, you know what I mean? Like, is it too much? I know for Joe the answer is no, so I was going to not look at your screen,
yeah.
but I'm going to pose this question to Gabe because he's a rational adult. Is it too much Halloween?
It's not too much, and let me tell you why. The world is filled with so much nonsense and negativity and other things now. Why do you think people are embracing Halloween? Because it's lighthearted. It's, oh yes, it's spooky and scary and all this. But now there's a Halloween season, like there's a Christmas season. There's a run up to Halloween. I don't have a problem with it because guess what? The world is filled with too much negative and heavy stuff. I think it's a good thing to have a little break from that and enjoy just something that's, to me, Americana at its finest.
And
We basically, maybe we didn't invent Halloween, but we sure did perfect it. So
Yeah, and if it's not hurting anybody, let people enjoy things. You may have noticed I've got a couple of friends behind me
I
over
see.
here. I love Halloween, and there's nothing saying that parents have to take their child to each and every single one of these events. It's
Yeah,
just
that's
great
true.
that the options are out there. If you're going to be out of town on Halloween, shame on you for terrible planning. But this way, you have other options. No?
and and you can. I agree with Joe. You don't have to take them to every single one. Meaning, even in your one municipality, you don't have to hit all the Halloween events. It's just not unlike trick or treat. It's not unlike we have the tree lighting, we have the Christmas parade, we have Christmas. You have different things you can go to during the Christmas season. You don't have to go to
Breakfast
all
with
of them.
Santa.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah,
you don't have to hit every single thing.
you
I'll
don't have to go to the sporting goods store in Atlantic City and see your pictures of Santa. I can't think of the name of that store that everybody likes to go to for
Uh,
that.
what the is that Bass Pro Shop?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. I'll be interested to see what Shank has in mind for next year with the 50th anniversary of the Halloween parade. I
Yeah,
wonder if they're going to bring back the Flasher. Do you remember the Flasher?
I do. I
Is that
remember.
somebody who gets arrested for wearing a trench coat and nothing
Well,
else?
it was a
They didn't
trench
get a
coat, but then
it,
they had a
yeah,
thing underneath it that
yeah,
looked like he was.
it was a full bodysuit, and it was like a creepy old man mask and a trench coat, and I think it was a woman, I think, who would just walk up and down and just open the trench coat. There was the leotard or whatever. Everybody laugh, and they, I don't think they could do that
Well, I guess we
anymore.
know what you're
But
doing next year, Joe.
Yeah, there you go,
nah, I'm
Joe.
not
Bring
doing
it
that.
back for the
No,
50th.
thank you. I don't think I'd need a
Yeah,
creepy old man mask anymore.
I know. You could just
Aw.
walk around as
Wah,
yourself.
wah.
Yeah,
Notice that none of us defend Joe.
I noticed
Um,
that. Thanks. You
well,
guys are aces.
yeah,
Hey,
we're your
listen,
friends.
that's what we're here for.
You should make sure before welcoming trick-or-treaters to your property on Halloween that your fence is good order so you could open up your gates. And there's one company we recommend to call when you need a fence.
That's because for more than 40 years, Master Wire Manufacturing Fence Company has been providing the South Jersey and tri state area with residential and commercial fence supplies and services. Whether you're looking for quality products that do it yourself or are in need of a trustworthy fencing company to install your fence, they've got you covered. Master Wire Manufacturing Fence Company provides the highest quality products and customer service to each and every person who walks through their doors or gives them a call. Contact MasterWire at 609 567 1616 or visit their website at masterwirefence.net.
In life's most difficult moments, you need friends and family you can rely on. And that's why Marinella Funeral Home has been serving Hammonton and the South Jersey area for decades.
That's right, Gina. Marinello Funeral Home has been serving the community since 1962 and has been family owned and operated for 3 generations. Marinello Funeral Home provides individually designed burial, cremation, and pre planned funeral services to meet the needs of each family. Ask them about how pre planning provides true peace of mind to your family. Contact the Marinello Funeral Home located at 102 North 3rd Street in Hammonton at 609 561 1311.
Thank you. There's been some changes to the local football coaching scene that have been announced recently. St. Joseph Academy announced that for the next year's football season, there will be a new coach. Coach Ron Dorsey will be stepping aside, according to a press release from the school, that this was his decision and that exactly what he wrote was that there are many factors in my personal life that make this the right move to step away from the sidelines. I am grateful to my coaches, players, and families for their support, and he will continue to work in student services, a role he said he truly enjoys. Coach Dorsey is seriously one of the nicest human beings. He really stepped up when Coach Sacco left St. Joseph Academy, and the new coach is going to be Sal Marchese. Now, Coach Marchese has a strong reputation. From what I read, he has 249 wins, 11 championships. And according to President Capuccio, he is a man who lives with our core values of faith, family, and future. And according to President Capuccio, Coach Marchese brings not only a tremendous football knowledge and experience, but also a character and leadership style that will inspire our student athletes and community. Again, this is a new change for football coach for the season next year. This is the 2026 season. And speaking of Coach Paul Sacco, it was announced that Coach Paul Sacco is now an assistant at Holy Spirit High School. Holy Spirit announced last week that former St. Joseph head coach and the winningest coach in South Jersey history is now a Spartans football assistant. And that's according to multiple published reports. He was an assistant at ACIT last season, and now he is joining Holy Spirit High School. In a published report, Spirit head coach Andrew DePasquale said, Coach Sacco is a wealth of knowledge that loves the game of football, loves coaching, and loves to win. He will be an awesome addition to our staff. So that was really positive news from the world of high school football. Very happy for Coach Sacco. Sorry to hear that Coach Dorsey is stepping down, but happy that he's still going to be with St. Joseph Academy. He's an invaluable resource, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's definitely someone who is well loved by the student body and by the staff there. Obviously, he's going to stay involved with the academy itself. By the way, has a winning record uh, this season, so it's interesting to be for him to step aside while he was doing well. But if there are things he wants to do for his family, then family first. We all understand that. As far as Coach Marchese, Delsey High School, underneath his coaching tenure there was magnificent. There's no other way to look at it. And the numbers speak for itself. So this is a high profile coaching hire by St. Joe, which has a proud tradition. And then, interestingly, to see their former highly successful coach Sacco now being an assistant at another highly successful football program. The Holy Spirit, Delsey, St. Joe Academy, these are all traditional Southern New Jersey football powerhouses. This is a seismic shift for a lot of for particularly for St. Joe Academy, and also I would say a significant hire for Holy Spirit. That's no small thing to make Coach Paul Sacco an assistant at that school. So congratulations to everyone involved. And I do think it's a big deal. Joe, your thoughts on that?
You pretty much covered about everything. Everything I've read about Coach Marchese, particularly with this hire, is that people are seem to think that once he is at St. Joe Academy, that school is simply going to be unstoppable on the gridiron. So I'll be interested to see that. I'm not overly familiar with how St. Joe's doing this year, but I know that Dorsey, he was one of the nicest guys when we were in school. I believe he was class in 97. And guy, he knew his stuff, knows his stuff, is consummate athlete. And insofar as Holy Spirit is concerned, they've been a force for a number of years. And so now you bring in Paul Sacco as assistant. I just picture him like Don Corleone coming in as consigliere to Michael.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, but we're looking, at least for the 2026 year, we're looking at one hell of a season for high school football in South Jersey.
Yeah.
And Gina, you look shocked, absolutely
Yeah.
shocked that I have thoughts on this.
You actually used the word gridiron and it made me chuckle.
Listen, that was great. Good use of the term gridiron. And let me say this, that Holy Spirit St. Joe game, when that happens, is going to be a much watched affair for sure.
It's either going to be a ridiculously high scoring game or it's going to be 0-0 and going to overtime.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Just an amazing thing. And just to see all these things take place at the same time.
I read that Coach Marchese got his start under Coach Chuck Donahue, who also has ties to Hammonton, right, Gabe?
Yes, there's ties with Chuck, and he's a legendary coach and ties to St. Joe and with Chuck Donahue as well. And he started in Buna, meaning Coach Marchese, coaching with Chuck Donahue there. So there's a lot of bloodlines here. Football has its coaching trees and people who come off of different coaches. And I think it's amazing when you're throwing around names like Chuck Donahue, Paul Sacco, Sal Marchese. These are some of the legendary names in high school football in southern New Jersey. And of course, all roads lead to Hammonton. And so,
as they should.
Yeah,
and
yeah, they
here we go.
do.
Here we go. So it's amazing to see a lot of these connections to our community. And it's something that should be a point of great pride for everybody.
What is?
As
Oh,
we
sorry.
used to say, we are the hub of South Jersey.
That's right.
So
That's right. And that proves true for football, high school football as well.
Okay, how is Egg Harbor City honoring first responders?
Gina, there is Egg Harbor City First Responders Day coming up, and that's going to be on Thursday, October 23rd. And there's two big events. The city will hold a dedication ceremony and parade starting at 5:30 p.m. at First Responder Park, which is at Philadelphia Avenue at the White Horse Pike. Right at that corner there, the city is going to dedicate a granite monument at 5:30 p.m. honoring the city's first responders, including police officers, firefighters, and emergency medical technicians. The monument was funded through the Neighborhood Preservation Program. Representatives of the Department of Community Affairs and local and regional dignitaries will attend. Then at 6 p.m., the Parade of Sirens will start at the White Horse Pike, Route 30, and travel north on Philadelphia Avenue to the Egg Harbor City Firehouse. Residents are encouraged to line the parade route and show appreciation for those who are first to respond to an emergency. Bring your family to cheer for the city's heroes and show your support. That's a lot of great things happening in Egg Harbor City, but this is actually next level for them because if you know that area of the four corners of Philadelphia Avenue and the White Horse Pike, it's really become a nice. They developed commercial properties, and now this park area is right there on the. If you're coming from Atlantic City, it's on the right hand side of that intersection, and right across from the Auto Zone,
mm,
and right across from the Dunkin' Donuts. It's a nice little park area that they've created there.
yeah.
I think it's nice that when the community comes together and honors the people who are there in our times of emergency. And I like that they have a whole park that's already named for it. It's a little practical. It's not named for anybody. It's just First Responders Park. So it should be easy to find. And this sounds like a good event. A little loud, maybe, with all the sirens, the parade of sirens.
Well, I,
Kids
no,
will love that.
oh, the kids will love it. At least you know what you're getting into, and I'm glad that we're getting this out there because there's going to be somebody somewhere who has not paid attention to releases from the
Right.
city or to us, and is going to think that there's a war going on in Philadelphia Avenue because
Right.
every single siren is going off. But you've been warned, and I think it'll be nice. And I like putting in permanent granite markers on maybe part of my
Oh my God,
profession
Yeah, here
occupational.
we go.
as a last
Occupational
responder.
hazard.
If you
But
don't know out there, oddballs, Joe works in a cemetery.
Listen, did you hear what he called himself? A last responder.
that's a term that's been coming up a lot lately in the
That's wild.
industry. Yeah.
I will say this: it's very nice to see Egg Harbor City honor people. We recently talked about the new statue of Peace Pilgrim, and now we have First Responder Park. I really think these types of things show community pride. We have our pocket parks and larger parks in Hammonton, and I think, and Joe, you have Monument there at
Mhm.
Oak Grove Cemetery, and there's the GAR monument in Greenmount. These things are important.
Yeah.
They're a way of honoring people, and I just think it's nice to see communities really taking the time to honor their first responders like Egg Harbor City is doing.
Yeah. And one of the reasons that I enjoy them is because when you do something like that, people always say, "Oh, it's not carved in stone." Here, it's literally carved in stone.
Yeah,
And when you erect a granite monument like that, you're doing it with the intention of it being there for generations to come. And it really is, especially when the municipality puts up a monument of some kind, it shows that this is important enough to us to enshrine for centuries.
Yeah.
And
So,
so that's why I think this is fantastic.
do you think Oak Grove will erect a last responder statue to you someday?
Once my stone goes up, yes.
Right. 2 minutes after that.
Fall is the perfect time to perfect your cooking. Gabe sent me a recipe for caramelized onion pasta that I hope to make in the next couple weeks, and I'm sure we'll be getting the supplies for that at Bagley Andy's Market.
And a great place to do it because Bagley Andy's Market, when you're at Bagley Andy's Market, they always say, we treat our customers like family. And they do. With a variety of custom cut meats, farm fresh produce, delicious cheeses, a full deli, and more, Bagley Andy's Market has something for everyone. They are famous for their wide variety of authentic Italian specialty products. Try their Italian bread and rolls, prepared foods, and homemade pasta. Follow their social media for weekly loyalty reward promos. Bagley Andy's Market is located at 417 12th Street in Hammonton. Call 609 561 0693 or visit Facebook and Instagram for more information.
We're in the
The
fourth quarter.
wait, real quick, the caramelized pasta recipe, I realize it's
Yeah.
probably got gluten-free pasta with it. Does it take about a dozen onions? Because if so, Ross Restuccio used to make something similar to that. And it was just extraordinary. If anybody ever had the opportunity eating what he called his shack, which was by no standard definition a shack, but it was about a dozen onions, 2 or 3 pounds of you just caramelize and fry the hell out of the onions, and it was delicious.
It's 4 large onions, a half cup of EVOO, butter, eggs, egg yolks, water, and cheese.
Sounds similar, and it sounds delicious.
Are you inviting yourself over for dinner, Joe?
I'm not. I'm just saying enjoy it. I never invite myself anywhere. I may stand outside and look like.
And just be like, can't you let me in? Well, Joe, you're consider yourself invited. Good Lord.
I was gonna say that if you're gonna head out on the road to go to Bagley Andy's or to Egg Harbor City, please make sure that you have the right insurance covering your vehicle, or if you're welcoming people into your home for a Halloween party, please make sure your insurance is up to date, and you should call Diversified Insurance.
Yes, and you should see Diversified Insurance for all your commercial and personal insurance needs. They are a value-added firm. They provide unsurpassed service, consult with you to determine your needs, and offer you a choice of insurance plans and programs. They are a value hunter who can find the best combination of coverage, service, and price. Contact them today at 609 567 7771 or visit their website at diversifiedinsuranceofnj.com.
What is going on with Egg Harbor City and solar energy?
There's a project that is being, the city council appointed a redeveloper for the community solar project. Basically, on September 25th, they appointed Jeffrey Day of Dynamic Site Redevelopment LLC as redeveloper of the city's former landfill on Moss Mill Road. Day, who has completed landfill and solar redevelopment projects in more than 28 states, presented his concept plan for the landfill, which has been designated an area in need of redevelopment. The goal is to share the energy produced at a solar field with residents to reduce their electric bills. DSR will conduct a landfill investigation, develop a landfill closure plan, seek all regulatory approvals, and partner with a qualified contractor to complete construction of an estimated 6 megawatt community solar array at no cost to the city. The project will turn currently tax exempt property into a new rateable that will increase the city's total assessed valuation and help stabilize taxes, according to a release issued by the city. The project will supply energy to Atlantic City Electric power grid and benefit residents by providing an estimated 20% discount on their electric bills. The release said a preliminary estimate shows residents will save as much as $32 a month and $400 annually. So that's news from Egg Harbor City on their solar array. Obviously, we've talked about the solar array at the Hammonton High School, and we see solar arrays even on private farms now. So this is nothing new, but I think it's new for Egg Harbor City with its landfill property on Moss Mill Road, the old landfill now having a new life with this solar array.
And this is very similar to Hammonton's plan with our old dump, the old landfill.
Correct.
I'm all about this. I think this is great. It's certainly an area in need of redevelopment. And if that's something that can be done and benefit the residents, fantastic.
I want to make sure that the results are there. You know what I mean? When we think about the one across from the high school, are we seeing results? Are we seeing savings? I don't know.
I
But
just
that
think
that
it's
that one
well,
that one specifically, I think, is for the school. That one isn't generating into the town itself, whereas the
right.
plan that we have with our landfill is going to be massive, and it's going to generate, according to the contract and according to Solicitor Malinsky, significant rents for the town.
Yes, but
So
the
I,
one for the school should therefore be lowering the school's electric bill, which therefore should be affecting its income streams and then providing income and lowering expenses. So therefore, taxpayers may not see a tax reduction, but
okay,
there should be some sort of benefit to the taxpayers in that sense.
okay, because I
Well,
Not a
was going to say
$13 monthly.
there
you're
should
not
be.
expecting a tax reduction by
Yeah.
any
No,
stretch.
but
No.
I want to see that. I would like to make sure that they're paying less in their electric bills
Well, I
for
think
less.
there should be follow up, and I think that one of the things that we'd like to hear from the school board and the board of education, now that we've built this array and the array is up, and I consider it a blight on the landscape. But if its stated goal
I didn't
was,
know that. Have you ever stated that before?
I have never heard
yeah,
that.
it's
I don't
ridiculous.
think I think you've been really quiet on
Yeah,
this.
it's,
I
uh,
thought you were going to take Fenway to have your
I,
Christmas pictures
not
taken in front of
short
it.
short of bringing back an auto shop and putting cars on blocks on the front lawn of the high school. I can't think of a worse thing to put on the front lawn of your high school than that solar array and the fence that surrounds it. But setting that aside, I would love to see now, since nobody's talking about it, show us at least the reduction that we got as a result of this. Has anyone said anything about this in a public school board meeting? I'd like to hear it now. I want to hear
Well,
how
maybe
much
you
we
should
saved.
go. You
No,
should be.
I'm telling them here. I'm letting them know. I want the public to know how much we saved. You built the thing. I
Did
would
we
think
save anything?
I would think if you were proud of the reduction, we would hear about it by now.
Oh, hopefully it's even on. I don't even know if it's on. Who knows?
Yeah, well,
Hopefully they respond.
I hope
Uh, it's almost voting season, and it's not just voting day or election day anymore. It's a season like Halloween. There's a whole season now. Joe, what are the details? When can we vote?
As in 2021, legislation was passed establishing early in-person voting rather in New Jersey and allows registered voters to cast their ballot in person at a voting machine during the designated voting period prior to Election Day. Each county will provide registered voters with this option for the 2025 general election, where the gubernatorial candidates are Jack Ciattarelli and Mickey Sherrill. And these locations will be open from Saturday, October 25th through Sunday, November 2nd. The hours will be from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sundays. And here are a few locations. For Atlantic County, voters can go to the Hammonton Family Success Center, 310 Bellevue Avenue, or that's in Hammonton, of course, or they can go to the Dr. Martin Luther King Community Center, 661 Jackson Road in Newtonville. In Cumberland County, early voting will take place at the Vineland Fire Department headquarters, 400 West Plum Street in Vineland. And for Camden County, voters can visit the Bud Dubel Senior Center, 33 Cooper Folly Road in Atco.
You know what I say. Vote early, vote often.
Oh yeah, you do say
I'm
that.
kidding. I'm kidding.
I feel like you're quoting The Simpsons somehow from that, but I'm
Yeah.
not.
It's not.
Vote early, vote often.
According
Mayor Jack Quimby.
according to a very great, not great source is Wikipedia.
Oh
this is
boy.
not always accurate. It's
No.
been identified as being attributed to John Van Buren, but there's some concern that might be apocryphal. He being, of course, Martin Van Buren's son. It was also used by William Porcher Miles and again, I think that's noted in Bartlett's familiar quotations, and that goes back. It goes back to the 1850s, and it was used by pro-slavery voters in Kansas. And then the British newspaper, The Times, in 1859, printed a letter about the use of the ballot for voting in the United States, and it reports the war cry: "Vote early and vote often." So it's been around for almost 200 years. That expression. Nobody really means it, even if they
No.
use it in Tammany Hall political machine commentary. I don't
And that
really
and
mean it,
that
but I love
that's
saying.
that's going to be the only Tammany Hall reference in the town of Hammonton today, I
Just
believe.
saying.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's hey, wait a minute. I've heard that line before. Not the
But I
Tammany
think
Hall part.
you get
Uh,
the mail-in ballots, you have the vote early, and then you show up on election day. Like that just feels like there's a lot of opportunity for fraud.
Listen,
Is my problem.
we've got
Oh,
Joe.
one day.
We've got Joe here. You talk about voter fraud. How about voting voting the graveyards?
You know, for that, you're going to have to talk to a different Joe, because I believe County Clerk Joe Girallo is in charge of making sure that
That's
doesn't
right.
happen.
That's right. Good
So,
point. County Clerk Joe Girallo.
Joe Girallo, you're on notice. I'm going to make sure that you come around and make sure my residents don't vote.
That's right. That's right. Get them off the rolls.
How
Look,
do you guys feel about early voting? Are you okay with it?
I vote on election day. That's it. I
You're a
go.
purist.
It's a ritual. Absolutely. There are plenty of opportunities to make sure that you are able to vote on election day. I like the idea. I've got nothing against write-in ballots. Like, this country started with handwritten ballots at like taverns and so forth. So I've got no problem with that. Do we need early voting for 3 weeks? And I'm surprised that it's even open on Sundays. That surprises me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying I'm against it, but I'm not necessarily for it.
Yeah.
Like, why just
I'm against
there's a
it.
day. Go it.
Yeah.
Go.
I'm against it. I am for spooky season. I am for Christmas season. I don't think we need a voting season. We had election day our whole lives. I think election day should be election day. Everybody goes. That's it.
And
I
how much does this cost you as a New Jersey resident?
sure.
Oh, they'll never tell
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
It's
Tell
But
me,
a
take
lot.
that money and fix a state highway. Pick a highway and fix it.
it's buried in some item somewhere in a budget from the
Yeah.
Department of Things that
No,
we don't
no.
need. That I'm sure it's available online somewhere, but we'll never find it.
Well,
And
maybe if
good luck getting that money shuttled over to fixing a highway, because now you're talking about different appropriations. That'll never happen.
maybe we could build a solar array on the state house lawn and defray the expense.
Maybe that could be Phil Murphy's legacy. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Lovely.
And does Phil Murphy have a legacy at this point? What would you say his legacy has been? This has been 8 years of Governor Murphy. Is it the way he handled the pandemic?
I don't know that history will look overly kindly on the way he handled the pandemic.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what
Legacies
his
are not always good are not always good. They
no,
can sometimes be
no.
negative.
I'm not sure what his legacy will be.
Will he be
Truthfully,
forgotten? You know what
I
I
don't know
mean?
that it'll be. I
oh
don't know that it'll be forgotten, but I think it's an 8-year tenure. Okay, COVID happened that era, but I don't know that it's the same as Chris Christie and Superstorm Sandy. You know what I mean? Like, in other words, people felt that Chris Christie rose to that moment at that time.
yeah,
I
And
don't
there's so
know.
many great memes.
Yeah, but I'm
oh
just saying.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just saying. Do people really say to you? Have you heard a lot of Governor Phil Murphy really rose to the occasion during COVID? I don't remember. I don't.
No,
I don't know.
I'm seriously asking, what is his legacy going to be? I could tell you what different legacies of different governors have been.
I hope whatever his legacy is, he's judged fairly for, and it was for
Yeah.
things that happened under his governorship. Like, I know a lot of people are blaming Murphy for bail reform. That was under Christie, and the voters passed that. That had
Yeah.
nothing to do with the currently. Like, blame the guy for stuff that he did or happened
Yeah.
under his watch. blame the last guy for that one, and the voters voted in favor of bail reforms. No,
I think he wanted his legacy, Gina, to be alternative energy. I think that if you're
yes,
going to ask me, I think he wanted it to be wind power. He wanted it to be solar. He wanted that to happen. But instead, I think what we got left with is a legacy of right now, what's everyone talking about? Higher utility bills.
hmm
So the right now is not a great time to talk about Phil Murphy's legacy, I don't think, because you'd have to look at it right now as in terms of what didn't get accomplished.
We will
yeah,
re-examine it in 2 years, when we're 2 years into whoever the new governor is.
Yeah.
yeah. That should give enough distance for perspective, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you need help with your septic, you need to call Demeglio Septic and Quality Sanitation. Or if you're having a party and you need some porta pots or some sort of event, you also call Demeglio Septic and Quality Sanitation.
Yes, because Domeglio Septic and Quality Sanitation are here for a variety of services, including septic pump out, grease trap service, high pressure jetting, portable toilets, and more. Call 609 561 3597 or go to DemeglioSeptic.com for Demeglio Septic or call 609 561 4666 for quality sanitation. Experience the Demeglio difference, a promise of superior service, quality, and reliability.
Thanks, Joe. Coming up is a well-known event at Batsto, and Joe Berenato has all of the details.
Yes, on Sunday, October 19th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., Batsto Village will host its annual Country Living Fair, which has all the best that South Jersey has to offer and something for everyone to enjoy. Spend the day exploring the historic village, take a fall hike through the Pine Barrens, and browse the vendor booths and exhibitions located throughout the site. The Country Living Fair features locally made crafts, historical exhibits, live music, old time engines and cars, food, antiques, pony rides, farm equipment, and more. This year, please stop by the Annie Carter Nature Center in Batsto Village, where visitors of all ages are invited to learn more about the plants, animals, and natural environments of the Pine Barrens. And as a reminder, the Country Living Fair is a rain or shine event.
Have you guys been to that? I've never been to that. I don't think I have. Gabe, have we been to that?
You and I together know, I think I've been to it. A lot of it's a nice event and a lot of people enjoy it. It brings a ton of people to that area, to the to Batsto.
Oh,
Batsto is
yeah.
always a fun place to walk around to begin with, but this gives it an extra flavor, and people really get excited about it every year. So it's a great event for Batsto.
Yeah,
And
tons of people to the point where the village actually put out in their release about this to expect delays from the immense inflow of traffic into Batsto Village. There are just lots of people. I don't
Yep.
think I've been for the last several years, but I have been on more than one. I feel like we went just about every year when I was a kid, and like it's cool. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to see.
Joe, you had an interesting weekend last weekend. You went to two different events, one where your voice could be heard and we were able to hear you, and another one where you got to hear a lot of other voices. Tell us about your weekend.
On Saturday at 3 p.m., Hammonton High School hosted its first home band competition in 24 years.
Wowza.
Yeah, it was very well attended. All of the schools did fantastic work. And like I mentioned last week, for reasons that surpass understanding, they asked me to be the announcer. So I had a lot of fun with that. And it was just it was great. And it was interesting to see how different band competitions are now as opposed to when I was in school. Just music programs in general. When I was in school, it was unheard of that there might be some manner of narrator or something explaining the story. If you couldn't tell your story with the music and the drill, go home and rewrite it. But it's a whole production now, and every school that was there. So it's not like to say signal out one school. Every school they had
More
narration and
theatrical.
yes. So that was wildly different, but it was great. I think my favorite part of taking part in that was reading the airgrams. As every
Explain.
an airgram, you spend $2 and you write a message to either a student or a member of the band, and it's read by the announcer as the band is marching on the field and setting up, or marching off the field. My favorite, I don't remember what school it was, but there was one that said, and I don't remember the student's name either, but it's, to Jimmy, remember, if you lose, we're going to have to pack up the house and move to Winnipeg. Love, your two-time Atlantic Coast Championship winning father. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's
That's
great.
nice. That's
So
nice.
I enjoyed
No
that.
pressure, Jimmy. We pulled up. It was all kidding aside about the school. What the layout of that school on that property does do is it is impressive. When you look at the size of the high school and you look at the layout of the field in relation to it, the football field, the athletic field, and you saw all these bands there and all these cars and all the parking lots and the soon to be full moon uh, hanging in the sky and the road to excellence side, which has been replaced with a nicer version of it. It made it all tied together. 25 years later, you thought to yourself, this is why partially we built this thing so that we could host something like
Yeah.
this. And I think Hammonton presents itself well at events like this at Hammonton High School. And when we pulled up and heard your voice coming over there, I did think of Mr. Ball Ponter. I did think of, wow, there's Joe from the Jersey Oddcast on the PA system at Hammonton High School. It was a great feeling. Right, Gina? Wasn't that fun?
Oh, it's very cool. Now, Joe, when you speak of the airgrams, didn't their neighbor send an airgram?
Yes, indeed.
Do you
When
want to
ha-
share our listeners
when
how kind you were?
when Hamilton was marching on the field, one of the airgrams that I read was, to the band, knock 'em dead, from your neighbors across the street at Oak Grove Cemetery.
That's great.
There was a mixture of laughter, shock, horror, and groaning all at once coming
Nice,
from the
nice.
audience, and I loved every second of it.
It's
That's
such
a
a
winner.
dad joke.
That's a winner.
Okay, so then after that event, you lost your voice practically. You need to soothe it with some honey, and then you went to downtown to like Horton Street for a new event.
Halloween. That was it was cool. It was cool. There was like 8 million vendors, truthfully probably about 50 or 60, selling art, selling this, selling that. There was live music, there was a beer garden that I walked around but I didn't go in. Just hundreds of people in costume. There was a dance troupe. It was straight up my only the only thing that made me sad was I was going to buy a t-shirt, but
Of course.
they were out of larges by the time I got there.
Okay.
And they did offer to order me one special, but I'm like, no, you sold out. That's great. It's my loss for not getting here sooner.
It would
And if
be
I
it would have been hysterical, like Nick LaGuardia dressed as like Frankenstein, handing you the T-shirt at Halloween, saying, "You're gonna buy a T-shirt, right, Joe?"
Yeah, now that would have been perfect. That would have been absolutely perfect. And
Were they in costume?
Nick, I know you're listening, so next year do that.
Yeah.
Um,
Were
was who
people
in
in
costume?
costume? Were people in costume?
Oh God, there were costumes all over the place. And I was thrilled at how many Ghostbusters were there. That made
Really?
me smile. Oh yeah,
Mm.
there were Ghostbusters, Jedi, a couple of plague doctors, which was cool.
With the
And then,
mask?
oh yeah, with the mask and the big bird beak and the whole nine, and the little kids running everywhere. It was great. It
And
really
we
was.
we drove through downtown before we went to the band competition, and I have to say, the downtown was vibrant. Lots of people walking up and down Bellevue Avenue. The parking lot at Rocco's Townhouse filled in. They had a nice. We had a nice dinner there, and they had a good number of people there at the restaurant, and the other restaurants were busy. And then we
Mhm.
went over to the, like I said, the high school campus, and that was very vibrant. So you feel good about the town, because you say to yourself, even here in October, we have all this outdoor stuff and vibrant stuff that's going on in our community. And I love to see it because I remember a time when this was a dead time of year.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, really.
yeah. All we had this time of year was the Halloween parade, and that was it.
Very cool. Speaking of Rocco's Townhouse, I think it's time for the community calendar, Gabe.
Gina, that's right. And the Rocco's Townhouse Community Calendar is brought to us by Rocco's Townhouse. Rocco's Townhouse prides themselves on being a spot where everyone can meet and eat. Delicious appetizers, entrees, burgers, and more, along with a full bar and plenty of craft beers on tap. Remember, everyone meets at the Townhouse, 21 North 3rd Street in Hammonton. Call them at 609 561 9384 or visit roccostownhouse.com. And now, the Rocco's Townhouse Community Calendar. Come to Rocco's Townhouse after visiting Egg Harbor City's Fall Festival on Saturday, October 11th from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. The Egg Harbor City Fall Festival takes over the 100 block of Philadelphia Avenue. Hosted by the EHC Economic Development Commission, the afternoon features food trucks, vendors, live music, crafts, fall games, and a costume contest for all ages. Then on Tuesday, October 14th, from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m., roll up your sleeve and make a difference at the Red Cross Blood Drive at the First United Methodist Church of Hammonton, located at 398 Bellevue Avenue. Walk-ins are welcome, or you can schedule your donation in advance at redcrossblood.org. On Friday, October 17th, you've got options. From 6 to 8 p.m., take part in Haunted Hammonton Ghost Stories, a free, family-friendly walking tour exploring Hammonton's Prohibition past. It starts and ends in the parking lot behind the 200 block of Bellevue Avenue and includes hot cocoa, cookies, popcorn, and glow sticks for kids. The rain date is October 24th. Also on Friday, October 17th, from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., the Order Sons of Italy in Hammonton hosts its beef and beer event. Tickets are $30 and include red roast beef and brown gravy, steak fries, and potato salad. Plus, of course, beer. Guests must be 21 or older to attend, and takeout is available. And later this month, from October 24th through October 31st, enjoy the folklore lantern tours at Batsto Village. These evening walks through the historic village are illuminated by lantern light and filled with tales of Pine Barrens folklore. Tours begin at 6:30 p.m. and 8 p.m., and tickets are $10 per person. Space is limited, so call the Batsto Visitor Center at 609 561 0024 to reserve your spot. More information about all of these events can be found online. Gina?
Real
I just want to
quick,
say the
just
I just
real.
want to say the
Yeah.
I just want to say the Batsto one makes me
Yeah.
think that the Jersey Devil's going to come out and grab you and kill you. That's all I'm
Yes,
saying.
I hear
yes.
you. And before you go, Joe, when I say Gina, that means Gina goes. Go ahead, Joe.
I was just gonna real quick. The Sons of Italy for their beef and beer. They're not having T-shirt sales there, are they?
I
They might.
know.
They might.
Okay.
Good
All right.
luck. Good luck,
Well,
Joe.
Yeah,
you wear a T-shirt almost every day, don't you?
I do. Indeed,
Can
yes.
you write it off as a work expense
I,
as
Uh,
your
you know,
uniform?
I at this point, like, if Nick makes me buy one more shirt, I'm gonna charge them for advertising.
yeah, but you should have a green coverall type uniform now to be the caretaker with a little Joe patch. That'd be great. And a
Well,
hat.
Yeah,
I,
we
I,
should get him that for Christmas,
Yeah.
Gabe.
no,
Yeah. Some kind of logo.
we, we have a uniform. I have. It's got the logo on the shirt, and we've got a hat with a logo. We've had uniforms
Oh,
for
okay.
years.
Oh, I
Oh,
didn't know.
I
Yeah.
want to dress him up like Joe Rodeo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Coveralls.
Yeah.
You're talking about Joe Rodeo of Rosedale, former mayor of
Mayor of
Rosedale.
Rosedale.
Yep.
Coveralls, blue, something nice like that.
Joe used to hang out at the diner with him, so why not?
Oh, all the time. Yeah. We had coffee every night.
That's great.
Yeah. I think you guys are both drinking out of mugs today for the Oddcast. Is that right?
That's true.
Where can people get a schnazzy mug like that? And it's never too early to start thinking of Christmas presents.
It
Dun, dun,
is
dun, dun, dun,
it
dun.
is
Makes a great gift.
never too early to think about it, because if you want mugs, you know where to get them. Tumblers, magnets, t-shirts, hats. You can find all of it at jersey-oddcast.printify.me.
Thanks, Joe. It's time for this week's Odd Poll. If ghosts could vote, which issue would they haunt the most? Property taxes, road construction, pumpkin spice overuse, or early voting confusion? Joe.
I'm not frozen. I simply don't know how to respond. I don't necessarily think many of them would care about property taxes. Oh, you know what? Maybe so. I'm going to go with property taxes. And I'm not thinking about ghosts that haunt cemeteries because they're tax exempt. I'm talking about specifically ghosts that haunt houses. Because if property taxes are too high and people can't afford property taxes, then the houses get taken over by whatever municipality they're in, and there's a real chance that house can get torn down. And then what does the ghost do? So I'm going to go with property taxes.
Thank you for giving it such a thoughtful answer.
Hey,
Yeah, you won't get one from me. I just
Gabe?
think I think the ghosts will just go after the pumpkin spice people, hopefully, and terrify them into stopping this whole madness and lunacy that is the pumpkin spice thing. I've had people. We have pumpkin spice everything. We have pumpkin spice protein now because everybody loves protein now. So now we have to pumpkin spice that. Where does it end, people? So I hope they scare them out of their basic need for pumpkin spice this fall. How about
I'm
you?
gonna I'm gonna say early voting because I don't think this is what anybody who has set up voting instructions or any politician in any country has really thought of. Like
I, I
I think it's too much.
I can see the ghosts of Adams, Jefferson, and Franklin getting their cravats ruffled about that, so I could see that. I was watching a comedian a couple of days ago who actually addressed the whole pumpkin spice thing, and I wish I remembered her name, but she raised a good point.
Which
The
was?
obsession with pumpkin spice is nothing new because it's not like it's spice that tastes like pumpkin. No, it's spices that are used in pumpkin pie.
Okay.
Nutmeg,
Eh.
allspice, clove, cinnamon. This is nothing new. Great Britain conquered the world for these spices. So we've been obsessed with these spices since Marco Polo.
I get you, but don't you
Yeah.
think Starbucks really commodified it?
Oh, absolutely. They brought it
Okay.
into the modern
Yeah,
era.
yeah, I would
But
think. I hear you.
but Great Britain subjugated whole continents in pursuit of cinnamon. So
Yeah.
Gabe, St. Mary Mount Carmel Parish is having two upcoming events: an Hour for Peace and an Illuminated Rosary. What are the details?
The details are the
I want to take us off the whole basic girl talk.
yeah, this will definitely do that. The Hour for Peace Illuminated Rosary is coming up on Tuesday, October 14th, 2025 at 7 p.m. According to the parish, on October 14th, they will mark the National Day of Remembrance. In the spirit of remembrance, come together to stand against violence, pray for healing, and commit ourselves to peace. The participating parishes are Holy Angels Parish, St. Patrick Church in Woodbury, that's at 86 Cooper Street. Notre Dame de la Mar Parish, Assumption Church, that's 7110 Seaview Avenue in Wildwood Crest, New Jersey. And St. Mary of Mount Carmel Parish of Hammonton at 226 Front Street. And their simple messages are all are welcome to gather and pray for peace. Then on October 24th at 7 p.m., there's the Illuminated Rosary at the St. Joseph parking lot, 226 French Street in Hammonton. Join us in honoring Our Lady of the Holy Rosary. Experience the beauty of praying the Rosary together in a peaceful candlelight procession. Confessions will be available as well. They ask that you bring your own candle. St. Joseph Church has been designated a diocesan pilgrimage site for this Jubilee Year of Hope. And of course, anyone seeking more information can contact St. Mary of Mount Carmel Parish, 609 704 5945, or go to their website at smmcp.net.
I think these are nice events to have. I love the idea of the illuminated rosary. I think that could be really beautiful, just a really beautiful spiritual moment. And it's good to see that the church is balancing their religious events, and then this weekend is their upcoming fall festival. So it seems like the parish is really balancing that well and trying to really become a community place.
Yeah. And I think the message of a holy hour for peace to end violence is a good message, particularly now. And I think that the rosary, people who are faithful pray the rosary, and this is a really nice way to do it, candlelight, this sort of thing. So the church is doing what the church should do at a time like this, and quite frankly, at any time.
And I agree with you, Gina. I think that the candlelight rosary is just going to be something spectacular, something beautiful to see. I've always loved prayer by candlelight. There's something, I don't know, there's something comforting about it.
Yeah,
And I I think it'll be beautiful.
I agree. Yeah. Monday, October 13th is Columbus Day, and there are a couple events happening, one in Hammonton, one in Vineland. What are the details, Mr. Joe?
This year, if my math is right, the Sons of Italy will hold their 21st annual Columbus Day celebration on Monday, October 13th at 10 a.m. Each year, club members, local dignitaries, and members of the public gather to honor the legacy of Christopher Columbus and to honor an Italian American individual or family from Hammonton. And this year, the honoree is Dr. Amerigo Falciani, and the event is open to the public. That evening, as you'll recall, Assemblyman Michael Teresi will be hosting a Columbus Day dinner with special guest gubernatorial candidate Jack Chittarelli, my apologies. Teresi said that he's hosting this inaugural dinner to revive and reimagine a community tradition once led by the late J. Garfield DeMarco, former Burlington County chairman. Teresi said that the dinner will take place each Columbus Day weekend, highlighting the town's deep Italian American roots, its history of hard work and faith, and its continued importance as a cultural hub of South Jersey. And, according to Eventbrite, the dinner will take place at Rocco's Townhouse at 6 p.m. In Vineland, the city of Vineland and the Italian Cultural Foundation of South Jersey will host the annual Italian flag raising ceremony and luncheon on the steps of Vineland City Hall at 11 a.m. In case of inclement weather, the ceremony will move to City Council chambers on the second floor of City Hall. And following the ceremony at 12:30 p.m., a free luncheon will be held at the North Italy Club located at 414 Verano Lane. Music will be provided by the Incredible Funny Group. And to reserve tickets to the luncheon, contact Sheena Santiago at 856 794 4000 extension 4169 or email shsantiago at vinelandcity.org.
Thanks, Joe. The event with the Sons of Italy is always a fun one. There's a good amount of history. It's good to honor a family. I remember when we used to do it outside. Now they do it inside, which is great because you never know what the weather's going to be in
Mm-hmm.
October. So kudos to them. And the one in Vineland sounds really interesting. I think it's going to be a good day in South Jersey for Italian Americans and this Italian American Heritage Month.
Yeah, agreed.
And Amerigo's your cousin, Gabe.
That's right. And we're very honored to have him be there as not just as a family member, but someone who's very vibrant in the community with AMI Atlantic Care. And of course, there's the familial connection to the origins of the Sons of Italy with my great grandfather, Joseph Falciani, who was its first president and founder. So I think he would be very honored to have a Falciani speaking on Columbus Day and being honored. That's just a wonderful sort of come full circle moment so many decades later. Congratulations to Amerigo. I'm sure he'll put on a wonderful talk that day.
Agreed. So maybe you're thinking about doing a major construction project at your home or business, or maybe you just had the town-wide yard sale and you still have some items you want to get rid of. You need a dumpster. You need to call United Roll-Off.
Yes, if you're looking for fast, reliable dumpster service, then call United Roll-Off Service and Recycling LLC, family owned by the Grasso family and proudly serving South Jersey since 1999. 3 generations strong, United Roll-Off is your local solution for household cleanouts, construction debris, concrete, and yard waste, with 11, 20, and 30-yard dumpsters ready when you need them, serving Hammonton and all of Atlantic, Burlington, Camden, Cumberland, and Gloucester counties. They've got the size, service, and local touch you can trust. Visit them at 735 Wiltsey's Mill Road, Hammonton, or call 609 561 8287 to get started today. United Roll Off, local, loyal, and ready to haul.
Last week marked the new album from Taylor Swift, The Life of a Showgirl. I don't know about you, but all my social media feed has been filled with it. People's reviews, people listening to it, people dancing, people sharing clips, their experience of it. I, of course, listened to the album when it came out last Friday. It's a very different tone compared to Tortured Poets Department, Midnight. It's much more of a pop album. It's got a lot of 70s feel to it for me. I really enjoyed it. It's not the heartbreak music that I think we were using to, or it's not as angsty. But for me, there are some really great songs on there. I'm a big fan of Opalite and Ophelia, and not gonna lie, I liked Actually Romantic, which is a little snarky, which, if you know me, I love a good snark. There's been
We
some
do.
criticism about the album, but again, this is her 12th album. It's a different tone, it's a different style, and I was excited to give it a listen. Have you guys heard anything yet? Joe?
Must be what you feel like when I talk about Star Trek, because I have no idea what you're talking about.
You didn't know that Taylor Swift had a new
I
album
I
that
knew
dropped?
Taylor's. Yeah, I knew she had a new album out, and I'd say probably half of my feed were people going crazy over it, but I have not heard it. I don't know that, and nothing against her. She's by all metrics great. I don't know that I could even name one of her songs. Just
Shake It
not
Off?
you
Cliffhanger?
could
Blank
you could
stare.
assemble any words together right now, and I would believe you that's a title. I am wildly unfamiliar with her music.
Gina is an early adopter of Taylor Swift's as she was with technology and is with technology. So I know Swift by osmosis through Gina, and I will say
As you should.
some of the
Listen.
songs are good. I'm not going to lie. Millions and millions of followers of her and it's a
Yeah.
cult following. Let's call it what it is. It is.
Yeah.
It's not just that they sort of follow Taylor Swift's music, so
No, there's
they can't all be wrong. But it's not my number one or 10 or 50 thing to listen to. But I do think it's great. Again, we talked about earlier, whether it's Halloween or other things. These days, I think diversions are great. And that's what entertainment does for us. It gives us a diversion. I saw a thing that basically said it's almost like a form of relaxation, and it calms people down when they go and whether it's to a concert or listen to an album, a new album. And in this case, we can say album because she's putting it out on vinyl as well. So I think there's something to be said for moments like this where we just talk about something other than the politics of the day or tragedies or things like that. So in that regard, I'm all for Taylor Swift and her new album. I hope she sells millions and goes triple platinum. God bless her.
I'll sign off on that.
That's very positive of you both. I appreciate that.
Yeah, just because I'm not into her music doesn't mean I like
Yeah.
let people enjoy things. That's what I'm
Yeah.
about. You love it, great. Buy more. That's fantastic.
Yep.
Enjoy it. That's what we're here for, to enjoy things.
And like the critics were like, "Oh, this is so different," or "This is she sounds too happy." Let her be happy. Why not? Who cares? So she puts out a different album. It's a different
Uh,
tone.
listen,
Speak Now and Reputation are very different albums,
look,
and that's okay.
she's in love. She can afford to be sappy.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Or
Nothing wrong.
happy. You know what I mean?
Sappy, happy, all the appies.
Yeah. I think we could all say that we're a bit excited that Back to the Future is coming back to theaters this month. Oh, I know I saw it in the theater. Did you see it in the theater, Joe?
I did not see the first one. I saw the second and the third ones in theaters.
Oh yeah, definitely saw. I never saw the second one. I've seen the first and third.
Yeah, no, not, like
I
my family didn't go to the movies very much when I was young,
Yeah.
but I think my sister Debbie, took me to see Back to the Future 2, if I'm not mistaken,
Okay, what's
in the
happening with that?
theater.
I saw all three of them in the theaters. I'm excited to see it back. It is a big screen kind of movie. I think
Oh, yeah.
it's definitely the kind of movie you want to watch on the big screen, particularly. And spoiler alert here, when he goes back to the future and that whole scene where Doc Brown is sliding down the wire to get the thing to go right at the right moment. That's something you need to see on the big screen, I think. I love it when they do this with classic movies. We can now call this a classic movie. It's 40 years old, and that's right. And I think we even know people whose birthday is in the date that's plugged in to go back to the future, and that's cool. So I think there's a lot of fun involved with this movie. Everyone has, I think, a certain way of accessing its great generational story, and that is, what would it be like if you knew your parents when they were your age as a teenager? And I think that's a great theme that this movie probably explored better than any other one, and that's why
Yeah.
it stood the test of time. The first one, especially. The first one, I think, really cracked the code of that in the 80s, which were a lot of symmetries of the 50s in the 80s. So I think it was the right time to explore that theme and the way they did it and going back to the 50s. So it's a great one. And Hammontonians, I think, are hardwired to love this film because Hamilton in the 50s was where it was at. And I think there's so many people now in their 80s who love that. And then it's also fun, the last bit from a retro standpoint of the 80s and going back and saying to yourself, watching now all the 80s stuff that's in that movie is also a lot of fun, and great performances by Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd and Crispin Glover, everybody,
Hmm.
Leah Thompson.
I love Leah
Fantastic.
Thompson.
Fantastic. Just a great film. And even the bit parts are great. That guy, character actor who milks the principal, calling everybody slackers.
Oh, that
Strickland,
man. Yeah,
Principal
Strickland. Yeah.
Strickland. There's so much great stuff in that first movie. So it's back. It's back. And I think no better thing than play the song Back in Time by Huey Lewis in the News and go back and get a tub of popcorn and enjoy it. If you're sitting in the theater in the dark, you're going to think you're transported back 40 years.
Which is, oh my God, that movie came out 40 years ago. That feels so long, but it feels like a minute ago.
Yeah.
And we were
Yeah.
all like, "Oh, we want a DeLorean." You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, we
Hmm.
didn't want that.
So yeah, so like beginning October 30th, we can go see this in the theaters. Like Sewell is gonna have it, the Regal UA, Washington Township, the Cinemark in Somerdale, AMC Voorhees, AMC Cherry Hill. There's a bunch of them that are gonna have them, so we can go see Back to the Future again. To clarify, our friend whose birthday is October 21st, that is actually the date in movie two when they go to 2015.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right.
Yes.
That's Back to the Future 2. It's not Back to the Future. But the it's still fun. There's so many different ways to access
Yes.
it. So what is the actual day it's coming out again that people
I
can?
think it's October 30th. It's back in the
Should be
theaters.
Okay.
November 5th. It should be November 5th. That's the date. November 5th,
That's
1950. Of course. November
the
5th,
the enchantment under the sea
1955.
dance.
Yes, the enchantment under the. Absolutely. Yeah. When
Well,
the
it's
clock
supposed to.
tower was struck.
That's
Save the
right.
clock tower.
The only thing that can can create that kind of energy is a bolt of lightning. How much? How many gigawatts?
1.21 gigawatts.
1.21
Yeah.
gigawatts.
And
A bolt.
circling back to a name that we mentioned earlier, John Schenck, and of course the omnipresent John Runfellow, when they were going around collecting money for the town clock, was I the only one going, save the clock tower, save the clock tower?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no,
great.
we like such a great movie, so many memories. And if you ever went to Universal Studios, like when we went to as a kid in California, they had the DeLorean. And like
Yeah,
you can get your picture taken with it. And my brother was like, this is the greatest thing. And we went the summer after the movie came out. So
Oh,
summer
wow.
well,
86.
on that
And
point,
it was like, oh my God. It was like
uh,
there was nothing hotter than that car.
when we went down to on the Florida trip, senior year of high school, 1991, Universal Studios, Florida had just opened, and they had a Back to the Future ride that was incredible virtual reality for its time. And the seats moved and different things. And we went not only to Disney World, but that year we went over to Universal Studios Florida, which was nascent. There wasn't even like much there at that time. But this ride I remember was great. And they pulled out all the stops. I don't think it exists anymore, but it was a great ride back in that time.
I think what hurts thinking about this movie now is that if they were to make it today, Marty would go back to 1995.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Like your senior year, Joe. Like the beginning of
Yeah.
your fall 95 is the beginning of your senior year, isn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Yes, it
Marty
was.
would go back to my senior year in high school.
What would
I
be
don't know
your
how I feel.
equivalent of the enchantment under the sea dance?
I'm
Would it be
trying to think.
prom?
The
Just
It would
homecoming?
probably
Homecoming.
be the prom. I don't remember what the theme was of our senior prom because I didn't go, so I don't recall.
the
But
NHS used.
Cocoa?
Oh,
How
you
about
know what?
homecoming?
Or the NHS. The NHS used to do a social.
it was
I don't.
we had a midwinter social.
There you go.
Um,
That's
I don't think had a theme, and I think we had just actually brought back homecoming that year
Okay.
because Hammonton hadn't had a homecoming dance for a couple of years, but it came back I think it was my senior year, I believe.
there you go.
It is now time for the Oddcast Odd Fact of the Week. Did you guys know that New Jersey ranks third nationally for cranberry production? Only Wisconsin and Massachusetts are ahead of New Jersey for that commodity. In 2023, the cranberry crop in New Jersey was 580,000 barrels, compared to 563,000 barrels in 2022. The value of the crop in 2023 was $20 million. I just think that's interesting because Hamilton had connections to the cranberry industry. We mentioned J. Garfield DeMarco, who was a cranberry king.
Hmm?
A former Hamiltonian wrote the book The Cranberry Queen. There's just a lot of Hamilton and cranberries in South Jersey. And if you have never been to the cranberry bogs, like out in Chatsworth, it's one of the most beautiful natural sights you'll see. And of course, there is the Cranberry Festival in Chatsworth, Saturday, October 18th, and Sunday, October 19th. Again, rain or shine event. We've been to that a couple times. It's jam packed with people, cranberry everything, tons
Well,
of vendors, lots happening.
knowing that you were going to do this, I wore my cranberry colored shirt here from Rider University. And Andrew
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Jackson Ryder, buried here in Greenmount Cemetery, was a
Yep.
cranberry king in his own right and lived here at the corner of Packard and Bellevue Avenue. His house later leveled, but by Garfield DeMarco's dad, Anthony A.R. DeMarco, which A.R.
Hmm.
DeMarco Enterprises, everybody knows that from Chatsworth and from Garfield as well, and his family. So a lot of connections, but that's why I'm wearing cranberry today, and the writer name is on my shirt.
And of course, AR Andrew Jackson Ryder famously shipped New Jersey cranberries, Hammonton cranberries specifically, to Queen Victoria, who had never
Correct.
eaten them before.
That's right.
All
Yes,
True
roads
story.
lead to Hammonton.
all
They do,
roads lead to Hammonton. Yes, they
or at
do.
least through Hammonton. One day we'll have to do an actual thing on how many roads actually do lead to Hammonton, but not today.
And if people are driving through Hammonton this week, what will the weather be?
I suppose since you asked, I guess that means that it is time for the Oddcast forecast according to the app on my smartphone and sponsored by Ben Castone Landscaping. Call Ben Castone for all your landscaping needs at 609 561 3452. They're here to keep your yard looking great no matter what the season. And this year, Ben Castone Landscaping is celebrating its 25th anniversary. Ben Castone thanks his customers, family, and friends for all their support and is looking forward to many more years of service. Over the next couple of days, we're going to go back to seasonal temperatures. We've been experiencing the upper 70s, low 80s, but we're going back to where we should be. On Wednesday, we're looking at a high of 68 and a low of 44, and rain is going to continue in the morning for a while. On Thursday, it's going to be clearing with some clouds at night, a high of 63 and a low of 40. That's going to be great. And then on Friday, partly to mostly sunny, a high of 66 and a low of 45.
Thanks, Joe. If you're looking for the Jersey Oddcast, you can find us on our website, jerseyoddcast.com. You can always call us if you want to have a chat, 609 444 6178. Shoot us an email, jerseyoddcast@gmail.com. And you can find the podcast on YouTube, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and a bunch of other places. We'll be back next week with more chaos, commentary, and community because someone's got to do it. Have a great week.
Take care.